Good morning, students. Yesterday we have started the valence bond theory. Valence bond theory explain how a covalent bond is formed between two atoms. And yesterday we have discussed about the main points of valence bond theory. According to valence bond theory, a covalent bond is formed due to overlapping of half-filled orbital. Suppose these two are half-filled orbital. Half-filled means the orbital should contain one electron. Suppose this one contain one electron, this orbital contain one electron. They undergo, when the atoms combine, they undergo overlap like this way, and this is called the overlap area. And in this overlap area, both the electrons will enter and the bond will produce between these two atoms. So like this way, a covalent bond is formed due to overlapping of half-filled atomic orbitals of two adjacent atoms, and the overlap will takes place between two half-filled orbitals only when the spin of two electrons are opposite to one another. I mean, if one is in plus half direction, another should be in minus half direction. I mean, spins should be opposite from one another. The strength and the stability of the bond, when the bond is produced between two atoms, suppose hydrogen bond is produced, what will be the strength and stability of this bond? It depends on the degree of overlap. Greater the degree of overlap, greater is the, stronger is the bond produced between two atoms. So it depends on this type of overlapping. If the overlap area is more, the bond will be stronger. And what will be the direction of the bond? It depends on the type of overlapping. Here this is the nucleus, this is the nucleus. The internuclear distance is called the length of the bond. I mean, the direction of the bond should be like this. And if you overlap like this way, suppose you overlap like this way, this is your overlap area. So nucleus will be present like this, and the direction of the bond should be like this. So a covalent bond is always formed in the same direction as the bonding electron resides. So these are the main points of valence bond theory. Now, before doing the formation of bonding, first thing you have to know type of overlap. There are different types of overlap, and depending on the type of overlap, a covalent bond can be classified into two types. Some bonds are called sigma bonds and some bonds are called pi bond. So depending on the degree of overlap, a covalent bond can be classified into two types. One is called sigma bond and one is called pi bond. So now I will explain what type of overlap will produce sigma bond and what type of overlap will produce pi bond. So that is called a type of overlap. Actually, there are two types of overlap. One is called axial overlap. I mean, the overlap takes place along their internuclear axis. That is called axial overlap. And one is called lateral overlap or sidewise overlap. So there are two types of overlap takes place between orbitals. If axial overlap takes place, if the overlap takes place along the internuclear axis, that type of overlap is called axial overlap, and axial overlap always produce sigma bond. And if the overlap is sidewise overlap, lateral overlap, then that type of overlap will produce pi bond. So first time I will discuss about sigma bond. Sigma you can write in symbol form also, you can write like this way also. Sigma bond. Symbol is like this, sigma symbol. This type of bond is formed. This type of bond is formed when two half-filled atomic orbitals, atomic orbitals belonging to two bonding atoms overlap along their internuclear axis. I mean, when the overlap takes place along their internuclear axis, then that type of overlap always produce sigma bond. And this type of bonds may form between SS overlap by doing SP overlap, and PP orbital also can form sigma bond. So I will show you the overlap. First I will show you SS overlap. Suppose this is one S orbital, this is another S orbital. As you know, S orbitals are spherical in shape. Then they will overlap like this way, and this is the overlap area. This is the nucleus of one atom, this is the nucleus of another atom, and this axis is called internuclear axis. I mean, the overlap takes place along their internuclear axis, and this type of overlap always produce sigma bond. And this type of overlap is also called head-on overlap. Head-on overlap. S and p orbital also can undergo head-on overlap. Suppose this is S orbital, spherical shape, and this is p orbital, dumbbell shape. This is p orbital. When they undergo overlap, they also undergo head-on overlap. I mean, head-to-head overlap. That's why it is also called head-on overlap. They will overlap like this way. This is S, and this is your p orbital. The overlap area is this one. This is your nucleus. This is your nucleus. So internuclear axis should be this one. So here also overlap takes place along their internuclear axis. That's why this type of overlap also produce sigma. Next one is PP overlap. When overlap takes place between two p orbitals, suppose this is one px orbital and this is another px orbital, which is called PP overlap. Then also head-on overlap takes place, and the overlap will take place like this, and this is the overlap area, and this is your nucleus, this is your nucleus. Internuclear axis should be this one. So here you have seen all the overlap takes place along their internuclear axis, and when the overlap takes place along their internuclear axis, then this type of overlap always produce sigma bond. So a sigma bond may be produced due to overlap between SS orbital, between S and P orbital, or it may be formed by overlapping between P and P orbital also. And here you have seen the degree of overlap, I mean the area of overlap. In case of S and S, the area of overlap is more, and that is why SS overlap always produce stronger bond. PP overlap always produce weaker bond because the degree of overlap is very less, and that is why those bonds which are formed by overlapping between P and P orbital, that type of bonds are weaker one. Now here the length of the bond should be from this nucleus to that nucleus. Here the length of the bond should be from this nucleus to this nucleus. Here from this nucleus to this nucleus. Here nucleus are closer, that's why the length of the bond will be shorter. Here length somewhat longer, that's why bond will be longer than this one. And here it is the longest one due to dumbbell shape of p orbital. That's why those bonds which are formed in between p and p orbital, that type of bonds are always longer. And always you remember one thing, bond energy and bond length inversely proportional. Here bond length is less, but bond energy is more. Here bond length is more, I mean longer bond, but energy is very less. That's why bond energy and bond length both are inversely proportional. If bond length is more, bond energy will be less. So this is called sigma bond. A covalent bond can be classified as sigma and pi depending on the type of overlap. when head-on overlap takes place, always you will get sigma bond, and sigma bond always takes place in the overlap along their internuclear axis. So this is about your sigma bond. Thank you.